Welcome to Side Roads. I'm Carlos, and this is a 2025 GMC Acadia. Special thanks to the team at Quantrill, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac for providing the car for this video. The 2025 GMC Acadia. This is a brand new or all new model from GMC. They have been all reintroduced, let's say. The Acadia come this year with a 2.5 liter four-cylinder turbo engine that produces 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque. And that's one of the major changes on this vehicle for this year, which is a swap of the V6 engine for this four-cylinder turbo. But it's good. We'll talk about more about the engine later. The Acadia then competes in the mid-size three-row SUV segment with vehicles like the Nissan Pathfinder, the Mazda CX-90, the Kia Telluride, and the Hyundai Palisade. Of course, there are more. And remember, this is a sister car with the Buick Enclave and the Chevrolet Traverse, which are also brand new for the 2025. Fuel efficiency for the Acadia is 12.4 liters per 100 kilometers city, 9.9 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 19 mpg city and 24 mpg highway. Price for the Acadia starts in Canada around 55,000 Canadian dollars. The top trim goes to around 67,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, the price starts around 42,000 US dollars, and the top trim goes to around 54,000 US dollars. In Canada, the Acadia comes all-wheel drive only. In the US, you can have it with the option of two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. All Acadias comes paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Safety features for the Acadia are things like blind zone steering assist, enhanced automatic emergency braking, following distance indicator forward collision alert front pedestrians and bicyclists braking, intersection automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, rear cross traffic braking, rear park assist, rear pedestrian alert, reverse automatic braking, and side bicyclist alert. That's a lot. The 2025 GMC Acadia interior, like the case of many of the newer products from GM, and in this case it's my first GMC, this updated brand new version is really nice. The whole market should be shaken based on what GM is doing in their cars, especially in the interiors, but in general I would say. So it is super modern, super well laid out, is super intuitive to use. The ergonomics are all here, is really nice. So the materials are all nice and good and padded and high quality. They look really nice, all put together too. The doors materials are also good. The support points are padded and comfortable for driving. all that is good, and it looks good. It's a very good design. I like what they have done here, and I like how GMC is separating themselves from the other GM products. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. So the steering wheel is wrapped in leather and is heated in this unit, of course, and it's super nice design, and it feels really good in your hands. The seats are super comfortable. They are leather and have contrast stitching. The design is simple but classy, so I like that too. And in good GMC fashion, you can find different color combinations for the interiors on their cars. There is one touch up and down for the driver window in this unit, and it has a Bose 9 speakers sound system, which is premium and is really nice looking. So all that is good. It has a wireless charger here and an extra cubby, 2 cup holders, a center console, assist tray, and it's big, and the glove box is really big too. I like this trim here. It's like it's not wood, but it's not metal, it's different, and I like it. I have a texture, at least visually is really good, and the vent design as well, and especially this in the center that are vertical. So it's kind of unique, it's different, it's trying to differentiate itself, and it's achieving that for sure. So there is an 11 inches digital gauge cluster, and it's really nice, super clear, super easy to see. The design is very, very nice. I like it, and you can configure that and have different views. You can have your maps there or your driving assistant settings there, so you can see, and all the information you need is there and visible. It's really, really nice. And I like the fact that different than other GM products, instead of having a full screen, these have a more of a traditional layout. So there are still 2 super modern and high definition screens, but one here in the typical gauge cluster manner, and then the other one, which is a 15 inches vertical all digital screen, is super crisp. The icons are big and easy to see, easy to use, and easy to find, and has air conditioner controls on the bottom here on the digital screen, but has redundant physical buttons here, so you can do either or. I like that. The heated seats, though, you have to use by the screen only, but they are always there, always visible. You don't have to go through menus, so it's pretty easy to use. I've said this before in my other GM product reviews. Again, this is my first GMC, but this system itself, the operating system, the layout, the design, everything is super simple and very user-friendly. That to me is the key. You can give me 1,000 screens, but please make them user-friendly, so anybody that gets in the car can get used to quickly and have no issues with it, and can do this with no problem. So the screen has this double function. There is a like 3-level different information that you can have here in the screen, and you can change what you see in the screen, and you can have the maps instead using the full screen, which is really cool. But the screen is big enough that you can have other functions visible there, like your radio, for example, which I like, without taking over all the screen. So typically the maps tend to take over some other screens, so this is very smartly done. I like that. Despite that, and talking still about the maps, this has Google built in, so the maps are of course Google Maps. It's really cool. You can zoom and move around with no issues. It's super easy to use, super clear. Most people will be super familiar with this, so that's a cool feature to have. You can have a panoramic sunroof here. This unit doesn't have it. This is the base entry trim for the Acadia that I'm driving here. The elevation It's fully loaded and it's super nice. So there's not base trim. It's just they have 3 trims. This is the lower one. I don't think you can even call it lower, but okay, it is what it is. I fit behind myself based on my driving position with no issues. You can move the seat back and forth, of course, and that will help the third row to gain a little bit more space, so more passengers can be comfortable here, which they can be. It's a 7-seater, 2-2-3. To be honest, I think 2-2-2 will be better, but if you have kids, 3 kids will fit there, and the space between the 2 captain chairs on the second row is huge. So the path through makes very easy to get in and out, even easier than just pulling the seat from the second row forward. So I also fit in the third row behind myself. The space is a little bit tight for me, but you can move the seat back and forth so you can gain a little bit of extra space there. So I think it's a good design on the space. I'm very capable. Overall, I really like this cabin. It's my type of cabin. I like how modern it is by keeping the traditional layout. It has everything you will ever need in a car, and is years better than the previous generation. So very good from GMC. So how is to drive the 2025 GMC Acadia? It is, of course, really nice. This is something that Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Cadillac are used to bring to the table in all their products. General Motors is a brand that really knows how to make vehicles. And this is, again, an all-new vehicle which has all the latest that they have in their lineup in terms of technology, features, engineering, everything. So it's a really compelling package. The cabin is really, really quiet, and it makes it, of course, you know, premium feeling like it. Let's say they have different brands in GM with different levels. GMC, I will say, it will be Chevrolet, then GMC, then Buick, then Cadillac. So you can tell it is quiet. The suspension is on the comfort side. I wouldn't say soft, and I wouldn't say firm, and I wouldn't say in the middle. It's kind of comfort. It's not super soft either, which I like. So it does an amazing job absorbing all the imperfections from the road, and especially in slow driving and in city driving or parking driving, you can barely feel anything. When you are driving, then because it's not super soft, you can still have this feeling of driving the car and feeling what is going on with the road without being uncomfortable. So a pretty good balance there, and very, very well done by GMC. The steering is on the softer side, but not super soft, which also I really like, and it's very direct. So the combination of those two, the suspension and the steering, adds a little bit of control and safety feeling from the car. It's not a floaty, disconnected vehicle necessarily, which, you know, GM products used to be in the past. This one is a little bit tied down, which I like. And remember, if you want something softer, more even more comfortable and even more premium, you still have Buick, especially, that have a sister brother with a sister car with this. Is, you know, Cadillac doesn't have that yet unless you go up. So that's good for you. And I'm driving the elevation trim, and the Acadia have elevation 84 and Denali. The Denali one within GMC, so without going to any other brand, is fully loaded, full luxury oriented. So maybe there it will be softer, and you can find there the things that you may be missing from here. But in terms of that driving dynamic, I like this one. It makes me feel that I'm in control of the car, that I'm driving, but it still gives me all this comfortable driving and all this luxurious, or let's say premium feeling too. The brakes are pretty grabby. I like them, and they respond immediately to my input, so the car feels that it will stop with no issue. They feel adequate for the size and the weight of the car, so I'm happy with that too. The seats, really comfortable, which has been the case for all my GM test drive from the channel, so check any of those please. Visibility is great. The windows are big. The back window is big. I can see everything from the back mirror. The side mirrors are adequate. I would say I've seen bigger than this, but they are okay. You have full visibility of everything here. There is a huge blind spot on the D pillar there, but there is a little window, but still it is big. So for parking, you still have the mirror. You have a huge and high definition backup camera here, so that will help you. You have blind spot, you have everything you need, so you should be able to maneuver this car with no issues. But there is that blind spot. Sorry, I have to say it is big. Let's talk about the engine now. This 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo makes a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque, much more than the previous V6, so that's good. And I'm in a uphill now, and it's pulling the car with no issues. Acceleration is right there, doesn't feel very laggy, or almost no lag at all. It's nice. I think it's very well developed, this engine from GMC for this car. They thought about this. This, by the way, level of power is V6 level in any other brand, so there you go. If you saw the graphic when comparing with other models, pretty much everything else is way below this level of power. And for example, the CX-90 of the Ford Explorer, they have 6-cylinder turbos, and their power there is around here. Ford has even one level that is even more than this, but in general, so it's a very, very good and very powerful and competitive engine. It is a 4-cylinder though. It sounds like a 4-cylinder, so you need to be mindful of that. But in terms of power and torque, nothing to complain here. Yeah, I like this car. I think the driving dynamics are, of course, on the comfort side. This is a family 3-row SUV car, so of course that's the objective here. But you can still, at least in this particular model, feel the road, feel in control, have a little bit of dynamics from the driving experience, which I really like, without going overboard. Of course, this is not a sporty car or a sporty SUV by any means, but it's a pretty damn good balance. You can almost have it all from this car, and I do like that. The 2025 GMC Acadia is much improved all around. I'm sure GMC will continue selling this better than ever.